Welcome to the MS&Me Radio Network, a division of the Multiple Sclerosis Global Support Network. The following program broadcast is an original creation by the broadcast entity. Discussion within the following broadcast should be used for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice or consultation. Before considering application of any broadcast content in the following program, please consult your healthcare provider. If you feel you are having a medical emergency, please contact your local health services for immediate assistance. MS&Me Media and the Multiple Sclerosis Global Support Network do not guarantee or warrant the accuracy of information in the broadcast to follow. The Multiple Sclerosis Global Support Network provisions broadcast services to program hosts. Information discussed in the broadcast does not necessarily reflect the views, opinions, or goals of the network and are solely those of the show broadcast host. Should you wish to host a broadcast, please visit our website at msmemedia.com and submit a request to become a program host. We thank you for listening to the MS&Me Radio Network. Enjoy the show.
Hey everybody, welcome to Straight Up with MS and all its crazy little circles on MS&Me Radio, supported by the Global MS Support Network. I'm your host, Patty Long, at MS and It for Life. And today I want to talk about finding the funny in this world. We live with experiences that other people don't live with. And so it's all about finding your way and finding that funny and having those people that you can share that funny with. And it can be a hard thing to do, and it can seem and sound downright impossible. But it's the best thing that you can do for yourself is to start finding funny stuff. And I know for me, like this week, I went to play pool because I joined an APA 9-ball team. And I used this little bitty short stick because that's the only way I could get a cue stick that was light enough that I could hold up. And sounds like military helicopters going over top of us, because they do. We're like in a pathway or something, and they're the only ones that get this low. But wow, is it low? Gosh, are y'all hearing this? It's very distracting to me because I can hear it. I can't see it yet because I live in the woods. But yeah, it's pretty loud. Wow. Wow. And they're cool to see. I mean, and they are, because I live in South Carolina, and so I'm nowhere near the beach. It takes probably 2.5 hours or so to get to Charleston. So, 4 hours to get to Myrtle Beach or thereabouts by the time you stop. So, yeah, it's cool to see them or hear them even. But anyways, I was talking about finding the funny, and I joined this APA 9-ball team. I love shooting pool. I remember being 6 years old and peeking over the table and grabbing one of the pool balls and just throwing it, or not throwing it, but rolling it across the table and trying to aim it for one of the holes in the pocket. And, by the time I was able to be playing, and I used a junior cue back then. And I don't know what the weight of it was, but this one is 15 to 16 ounces. And, it was the lightest one that I could get of that size. I could have gone with one shorter, but I never would have been able to use it. It would have been way too short, even with me so short. I'm only 5 feet tall, so it kind of goes with me that I have a short stick. So the team always gets kick out of it, and I love going. And so this week, I was on my way last Thursday night, and I get on the interstate finally after losing my stuff, because I I didn't have it all in my bag anymore, and I forgot I took it all out of my bag and needed it for something else. And so I had to keep going back and getting it and getting it and getting it. And I'm like, I'm going to be late. And I knew better than to worry about it, so I didn't. And as it turned out, most of my team was just getting there, 10 minutes before I did, so it didn't matter. And and so I joined this team, and I'm on my way. And I get on the interstate, and it was like, wow, my world got so much brighter. And when I mean so much brighter, I mean so much brighter. I am used to seeing halos, but not this many. There were 5 halos around the tail lights of the car in front of me on the interstate. Needless to say, I stayed in the right-hand lane. I wasn't going around the car in front of me because I wasn't exactly sure my positioning, and I stay off of people's butts because, again, I'm not real sure of my positioning. I have a cool car so that I can get on the roads because I've got vision loss in my peripheral vision. Nerves that were absolutely black and dead, and when you see those black nerves, that's where everything has died. And those dying nerves were very painful to me. They were, but they died, and once they were completely gone, the pain subsided. And I had these holes in my vision, and your brain is this funky thing, so it tries to fill in the holes. And I just had surgery that removed a tumor that was behind that right eye where I had the vision loss. And it was a meningioma, so it's on the outside of your actual brain. It's behind your skull. And they're often referred to as skull tumors. But it had grown really large, and it was kind of giving my brain a wedgie. That's what it looked like in the picture. And there was a really cool 3D picture, and when I go next time, because I don't know how to work the program, y'all, but my MRI picture was made to look kind of 3D so you could see it, and I'll post it because it was really cool that they could make these pictures. But it was giving my brain such a big, huge wedgie, and it needed to come out, and I was told that, it might affect my vision in my right eye. I might lose a little more vision. And I'm thinking, and because it's peripheral vision that we're talking about. And I'm thinking, well, that might be a good thing because, if I could lose the whole part of that section of my peripheral vision, then maybe my brain won't fill it in with miscellaneous garbage that isn't real, like a gray road when there's really a car sitting right there. Kind of makes a difference. So that's what I was expecting, was something more along those lines, and looking for the good positive thing that could come from that, which would be better vision, because maybe then my brain wouldn't put something there that shouldn't be, and I wouldn't run into corners or whatever as I'm turning right, or the edge of things, and just miss. It might cut down on a few of the bruises I have. Just a few of them, but it might cut down on some, who knows. But no, and this is even more exciting. Everything became hugely bright, and I was like, oh my gosh, wow. And I get to pool, and I'm late, and I got this big grin on my face, and I go in, and I'm talking to the first person I saw, and then the next person, and I worked my way around to my team and apologized for being late, and we laughed about how few of us were there, and the game had just started. He just had their names written down, and and the paperwork started for that part of APA pool. And I was sitting there and I was looking and I'm like, wow, that's the two there. And Richard just looks at me. He's my team captain. He just looks at me kind of, cockeyed and grinned at me. I look back, pay attention because, player's about to hit the ball. And I'm like all excited. I knew which ball was which. And I could see so much more, and it was just amazing me. I was it's like going somewhere that you've never been and doing something you've never experienced in your life, walking in, and that brightness not being just caused from headlights and taillights, but from the actual brightening up of my world. And it was really, really crazy. And it was really, really fun night, and we laughed a lot. And as I started playing, I was the fourth one up, so I was almost last playing. And I got up there and I told person I was playing, I told Susan, I said, wow. I said, this is amazing. And, I said, I think I might can see the balls. And everybody heard me because I'm not a quiet person. Even when I'm trying to be, I'm not a quiet person. So I said, I think I can see the balls. And we're about to do our lag to see who plays first, or breaks first, I should say, and who racks. And we both cracked up, and everybody behind us and around us that heard me say that cracked up, And it's fun to be able to make jokes about these things, and they all know that most of the time I'm asking which ball is next. And the very first time somebody said the blue one, I said, well, I'm kind of sort of colorblind right now, so I can't tell my colors. And the numbers are blurry, so I can't tell my numbers too good. And they'd look at me and I'd say, you didn't know you were playing with a half-blind player? And, they'd just look at me and grin. I'd say, yeah, I got MS, and I'm your half-blind player, and that's why I shoot with this little bitty junior stick. And, they all accepted that, and they accepted my word for things. And, never questioned the funkiness. Some of them know somebody with MS. And, people like to say about how our MS is all different, and it is all different, and different pathologies and everything. But it's all the same, too, because it's all about how these parts degenerate in your central nervous system. And, I'm seeing more and more research, and like I said, the whole world, well, I don't know if I said it or not, but the whole world is getting together right now in Paris. Actrums and ectrums both getting together. And Actrums is the American side of it. Actrums is the European side of it. But it's a big conglomerate, and it's a huge event, and all the latest research and abstracts for where research is going, those are going to be being presented at this thing. So, I'm really excited about that too. But back to my pool. As you can see, my brain is still circling and circling and circling. I've just done so much these past several days that I'm overexhausted, even though I went to bed at night, and even though I got my nearly 8 hours in, And even though I did those things I'm supposed to do, my brain is still exhausted and I'm circling. And memory plays like that. So, you know, here I am, and all through the game, we're cutting up over my ability to see. And where usually throughout the game, we're cutting up about my inability to see. Now, that's not to say I could see straight, because I still can't see straight. So when I warm up, my goal is to figure out which direction I'm off by and by how much. And once I figure out how much I'm off by in my version of straight, then I can figure out, how to hit the ball to make it go in, or at least that's my goal. Doesn't always work well because that perception changes as I'm closer or further away to hitting the ball, and to the pocket. So, it does change. But I try. And that's all they want is for you to try. And it's all about having fun, and everybody does. And they let me be me. They laugh like crazy with me. And they never question the funkiness. And I tell you, when I met these people, I had extra funkiness. I mean, really extra. I even dropped off line and my social networking for a long time because of the funkiness. I could not think, and that was the tumor giving me a wedgie. So that's gone now, and the wedgie's gone, and now I've got this brightened up vision. So I'm anxious to see if it sticks around, because once, a very long time ago, I had a period of time when my vision brightened up really well like that. And I'm not going to stress over it, and I'm not going to worry over, is it going to last? I'm going to enjoy it while it lasts. And my dog Hachi is sitting out there in the sunshine, enjoying the sunshine, and, he's loving it. Now, I'm not sitting in the sunshine. I'm on the porch because I think the wind would probably bother me. It's still below 70 here, so I'm not sure that the sun is bright enough for that and for me to stay warm. And I get cold real easy, and it's a different kind of cold. It's like the exact opposite of what happens when you get heat insensitivities, and your body temperature rises, and my body temperature will rise, but my body temperature will also drop. I get to have both, and that's just because that makes it a more fun thing for me to figure out, right? I'm a problem solver, and that's what I do, so I'll figure it out. So I do, for the most part. Although it worries me a little bit right now, because last winter I had a really rough go. But this winter, my doctor, Dr. English, and I have a plan in place. So I'm not going to be that concerned, and I'll be seeing him on October 30th. And I just really can't wait to see him. I love going down there and seeing my doc. And I know that he will answer each and every question I have. And I know that he will tell me all about everything that I need to know. And he will prepare me for the next 3 months until I see him again. And we'll have a plan of action in place where all I have to say is either call him or send him a message and say, I need some help. And that's it. I'll have help that day. So that is an amazing experience as well, having a doctor like that. But I told a lot of jokes that night at pool, and I actually won my match. And I won 20, there's 20 points to a match. And at the end of it all, I won 15-5. And I shook Susan's hand and I told her how much fun I had playing the game, because they hollered at me 2 or 3 times where I was going to take my next shot. Match, 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 before I realized it. And they're all like, whoa. But I was so into the game that, I was ready to play some more. Um, but the match was over and I won. And that was an amazing confidence boost, because I had been in this long run of losing streaks where, everything was just so messed up from this tumor. And it was really exciting. But that doesn't mean that my MS is gone. So I was still running into the corner of the table. I was still trying to get my feet right, because everything starts with your feet. Everything's about form and how you exercise and how you move, and whether or not it helps you or makes you hurt later, or whether or not you can hold your energy with it. It's all about form. And I know that sounds crazy, but it really is. It's all about the form. So if my feet weren't placed exactly right, and my body not angled in the position that it was supposed to be in with my feet, and everything square, then I was going to automatically miss. I have to have my feet right. Everything starts from the bottom up. And I'm still judging with where the straight lines are. And it's just crazy. So it was a real confidence boost to finally win again. And thank you, Susan, for being so great about it, because everybody, most of the time, everybody up there is good about it. There's those few that just aren't. And I don't know, maybe I've offended them in somehow, because I'm not always, able to keep my mouth shut. Sometimes words just pop up like, I can't handle 2 short sticks, y'all, when they tell me I should use a bridge. And I couldn't. And I don't mean it in any other way except for those straight words. I can't handle 2 sticks at once. And they think it's odd that I say these things. And when Stanley came over to help me on my one time out of the night, he understands that he can't point and say, hit the ball right here, because I'm clueless. I can't follow the point. And so he stands me there and he puts my feet right, and he turns me a little bit and he says, now from right there, hit that ball on the opposite side. And I looked at him, I said, if I'm right here, there is no way I can hit that ball on the opposite side. And the whole place just cracked up at that. So I hit it, and I hit it really hard the way Stanley told me. Now, it didn't go in the pocket that he said it would go in, but it went in the one straight across from it. And I'm like, okay, it worked. Maybe it didn't work the way you meant, but it worked. There you go, when you hit your balls on the wrong side, and so we joked about that for a long time, and it was just a lot of fun. And you need that fun in your life, and you need to incorporate any kind of wonkiness that is yours. You need to incorporate it into your fun and own it. Own that wonkiness, own that color blindness like I had, and make it funny, or own that wobble in your walk. I mean, for the longest time I would go and I would say, you know what? I don't need alcohol. I'm a natural. Because people would think that I was drunk. And I didn't drink. And the bartenders and all up there would know me, and they would back that up, and they'd say, and the people that were there with me would say, no, that's Coke in her cup. She doesn't drink. And I couldn't, because You know, where before I was diagnosed, I might could have a couple of drinks and it was as if I had none. But once I had MS, one drink could throw my MS because what does alcohol do? It slows down your central nervous system. Why is my central nervous system, why are those connections so wonky? Because they run so very, very slowly already. And, you know, I don't want to be falling on my butt. That's not fun. I've done it plenty of times without alcohol. I've held onto the pockets of corners and slid down because I knew I was going and used the stick as my pull stick as a brace as well to hold me so I'm not hitting the ground hard. I've had people catch me. I've slid out of chairs. I've just plain tripped over the air. I've run into people. All these things. And you know what? None of them care. They all get it. And we laugh about it. And, I'll tell them as I'm walking the long way around, yeah, I kind of need a bigger pathway than most do. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, I get that. But I do. I can't go through little places and I'll find a way to just tell them that and make it into something that they can kind of relate to, even though they can't really relate to MS itself in anything really specific. They can relate to the humor of the things they see and the things they hear that come out of my mouth that just make absolutely no sense sometimes. I'll get words backwards a lot. And I see now here that it's about time, for me to sign off. And I want to thank a few people before I go. I want to thank Jamie Tribute Titus of Ugly Like Me, who is really awesome, and I'm really glad I got to get a chance to talk to her on the phone one day. And I want to thank you guys, my listeners, because without you, I wouldn't be here. And hopefully I can touch somebody today and help them laugh a little bit with me. I know I'm circling really crazy, but that is part of who I am, so I recorded it away. Anytime, anywhere, get in touch with me. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. And I'd love to hear from you. So, MENIT, the number 4, LIFE on Twitter. And I'm under the name Patty Long on Facebook. Thank you. And smile often. And keep on smiling as big as you can and as often as you can, even if you're just looking at the mirror at yourself. And most importantly, love yourself, your whole self. So I'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.